everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh. Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week.
The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the Record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is the 9th day of August, 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a cyclist, a pedestrian, or operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. And those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. We want to extend condolences, special condolences to the family of the late Mr. Rupert Ebanks. Many of you would have heard him on several occasions call in to Radio Cayman. Of course, he's more famous for his role in, or more popular for his role in immigration, and we want to extend special condolences to him, his family. Also, Captain Scott, family of Captain Scott as well, who passed away. Miss Vernice Miles and her family as well. And I'm sure that there are others as well. And if there are any that you want me to express condolences to on air, please send me a message in that regard. Same applies to those persons who are celebrating a birthday as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. The radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls this morning. Those calls can come in on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. And you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. This morning, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me the Director of Customs and Border Control, Mr. Charles Clifford. Also with us is Senior Deputy Director, Mr. Bruce Smith, and Deputy Director, Mr. Kevin Walton. A little housekeeping before I pass the mic over to these gentlemen. There are several things that they want to discuss this morning, and we want to hold off on the phone calls. We will alert you as to when the phone lines will be open, because we do recognize and realize that some of our listeners may have observations or may have queries for the three gentlemen in the studio, but we want to give them an opportunity to lay the foundation for some of the things, the topics that they're going to be discussing. And once that has been done, then we will signal you as to when the phone lines are open. Meanwhile, if you have a question or a comment, simply send it to our email address, for the record, at candw.ky, or our WhatsApp number, 925-3261. That will give me an opportunity to, at some point in time during the discussion, to raise your issue or your observation as well. So without any further ado, gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Thank you very much, Mr. Connor. Happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us. Good morning to the listening audience and those who are watching us on I think, YouTube.
Yes.
As you've indicated earlier, Mr. Connor, I have with me this morning Senior Deputy Director Bruce Smith and Deputy Director Kevin Walton. We are going to focus on a number of things this morning. You will recall that last week we issued a press release in relation to a new process for the appointment of agents. So Mr. Walton is going to deal with that issue and get into some more details and some advice for the public. Mr. Smith will deal with a number of recent interceptions and arrests, and I will sort of give some general comments as we go along the way, and I'll also speak to our upcoming 5-year CBC strategic plan. And of course, after we've finished with our introductions and our sort of general opening, we're happy to take any questions from the listening audience.
Certainly.
So thank you very much again.
Okay, and thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Walton?
Yes. Good morning, Ossie. Good morning.
Good morning.
To the listening public. It's very important, first of all, to understand that when we launched our technology build-outs, that we explained that it was be built in phases. And that is the AOA process is just another phase to automate this system. And it was driven by a request by most agents who found it to be very challenging, the process that was required that we implemented at the first going off of our systems. For example, a form had to be completed. In most cases, the importer would go on to our website, download the form, fill the form out, and submit it to the agent along with a government ID. The agent then would have to submit that form to CBC, who would then review, approve, and then clear your goods based on the appointment of agent. And it's very important to understand that this is not something that we just made up. This is in accordance to Section 41(1) of the Customs Border Control Act 2021. And it has been around from the time our original customs legislation was implemented back in 1990.
Now, an agent only needed to be appointed one time, or it had to be done on every importation?
No, just one time for an agent. Okay. But each agent that you wanted to appoint, you had to continue the same process.
Got you.
So based on their requests and the challenges that we saw, it was slowing down the process, especially since the COVID and the lockdown and people online shopping. It caused it slowed down an entire process. And we decided to then look at the process that we had, streamline the process, and use technology to assist us. So we went to our developers and we came up with requirements as it related to what was the best way of doing this. And the decision was made that we would automate the process by allowing the importer to register in CBC. Once they're registered, then they can appoint an agent, or they can appoint as much agents as they wish, as well as they can remove agents, and they can update the list accordingly. And this could be done at any time, any place in the world that they wish to do so. It's all electronic. And it must be understood that if you're already registered, there's no need to go back and re-register.
Got you.
It's there. We have 11,500 companies and individuals registered in our system now. If you're registered, you simply go into our calls online, select the appointment of agents, and select the agents that you want to represent you. And it automatically happens.
Okay.
Those persons who were already registered and had appointments of agents, the system automatically, when we implemented it, updated accordingly. And it's a very easy process. It takes much less than a minute to do so. When we did launch, we notified the agents accordingly. We put it on the dashboards. This was happening. But prior to that, emails were sent out to the agents, letting them know that we were going to be moving forward. Now, some of those communication may have fallen short, may have meant to spam or junk mail, because some say they didn't receive it. Nevertheless, we have been discussing this with several agents for some time now. As it currently stands, our process is quite easy, and we encourage persons, if they need assistance, to call us at 649-4579, press 0, press 1, and we will assist you. In addition to that, you can email us at Customs Online, and we can assist you. That's wanted to give you the email address, actually. It's cbconlinesupport@gov.ky, and we can assist you with it. It is very important to understand that this is not to do with the general traders.
Right.
This is just people who are using agents. And it's a matter of you just appointing them as an agent electronically.
Okay. And in terms of time frame, how much time you estimate that will save a person who would normally have gone through the other process?
We're estimating you're looking probably saving about 24 hours.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most cases, this agent had to, first of all, locate you via telephone or contact, email, send you the form or tell you what to do. You had to complete it, send it back, and then it comes to our system, and then we have to review it. And with that reviewing was a delay, and with that, it took time, and it slowed down the process. But it's very important to also mention that it's third parties where you're sharing the information with, your personal information. So we wanted to remove that as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, see, I just wanted to underscore as well. I know
Sure.
Mr. Walton made reference to it, but our technology upgrades are being rolled out in a phased approach. And you might remember that a few years ago we appeared on your program first to announce that we were beginning this project.
Yes.
We were then the customs department, and we had a merger since that time. So that added some additional dimensions to the project, and Mr. Walton has been leading that. And so I just wanted to underscore the fact that it's a phased approach, and with any technology upgrade, there will be continued enhancements. We do what we can to make sure that everything is automated. This is one aspect of the process that hasn't been automated until now, and I think that it's important for us to bring that aspect of it on board in terms of our automation, because we don't want to have a new sort of system that's automated with little bits and pieces, still in that sort of primitive mode. So I want to thank Mr. Walton for his leadership on this project, and as we go along and make further enhancements and bring other components into this, then we will issue more press releases and come and update the public and answer questions.
Okay. Now, how does this bode for the upcoming season? We're in August now, a few months away from Christmas, and of course people will start shopping. I can think of the Thanksgiving weekend and Black Friday or whatever. Well, every
Absolutely.
day is a Black Friday, almost now as well. But how does this bode now for the customers and your operations?
Well, I think it'll make our operation and the whole system more efficient in terms of how we process and how quickly we are able to release goods. But just as a general comment, because of the closure of the borders, which is related to the COVID-19 situation, we have seen a significant increase in imports. Because travel is restricted, most people are shopping online. And Mr. Walton will speak in more detail to this, but we have seen a significant increase in imports. And we don't think that that's going to ease up anytime soon as we get closer and closer to the holiday season. We're going to have a lot more work now this year than we had last year. And we're doing what we can to prepare for that. We've been able to redeploy some staff from the airport to help manage imports. Mm-hmm. But of course, as we reopen our borders, we have to move that staff back to the airport. And we're going to be doing that in a phased approach as well, based on the number of flights and how quickly they increase. Mm-hmm. But it's going to represent additional workload, and we have to be very strategic about how we manage that. So we want to make sure that members of the public who are importing goods, that they do what they need to do as early as possible in terms of registering as an importer. Don't leave it until the last minute. Don't wait until the goods are on island to go and register as an importer if you haven't registered already. But as I said, Mr. Walton will speak in more detail to that, so I'll hand over to him at this point.
First, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with representatives from Customs and Border Control, Mr. Charles Clifford, Mr. Kevin Walton, and Mr. Bruce Smith will continue, so please stay tuned. Okay.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
The development of the Cayman Islands financial services industry is said to be nothing short of a modern economic miracle and should not be understated. Did you know that prior to 1953, the only operational bank in the Cayman Islands was a government savings bank, although it could not conduct commercial transactions or solve cash flow shortages? Despite pleas from the governor in Jamaica for the banks there to open a branch in the Cayman Islands, it was not until March 1953 when Barclays DCO opened their first office in Dr. Roy McTaggart's dental parlor on South Church Street. In 1957, Barclays moved into Dr. Roy's newly constructed Rembrandt building on Cardinal Avenue, and they did not see their first competition until 1963, when Royal Bank of Canada opened their first branch in the islands. Barclays would later open the first commercial bank branch in the sister islands on Cayman Brac in 1964. The Banking and Trust Companies and Regulation Law of 1966 would soon prove to be the key to launching the Cayman Islands into the world of offshore finance.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. A truly exciting event is just around the corner. 4 hours of Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally excitement. Saturday, August 21st, noon until 4 p.m. Prizes around Gumball Rally car preparation, rally spirit, rally event notes, rally accuracy. Answer the questions and find the Rotary Central Gumball Rally finish line. The Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally, a fun event, not a race event. Register with only $100 per entry, up to 4 persons per rally car. The first ever Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally event. Register now at Rotary Central Facebook page or call 936-1344. Every Gumball Rally dollar will serve Rotary Central mental health projects. Rotary Central, serve to change lives.
You don't always have to give up the food you love to live a healthier life. You just have to choose better to eat better. At Caribbean Bakery, we know that delicious, nutritious bread only uses a few ingredients that leads to better taste, better health, and an overall better experience. We focus on simple, quality ingredients while leaving out the bad ingredients that commercial bread brands are known for and can lead to illness. Feed your body, feed your family with 100% additive-free, freshly baked bread from Caribbean Bakery. And don't miss our hot bread Sundays, freshly baked loaves delivered to McRuss Grocery Store every Sunday morning. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamp Motors on Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have representatives from the leadership of Customs and Border Control here in the studio with me this morning. And before we go back over to Mr. Kevin Walton, we just have one happy birthday greetings. This person is sending it to his wife, Lisa King Bryan, and it's coming from your loving husband, daughter, sons, McElroy, Jay, and Samantha. So happy birthday to Miss Lisa King Bryan. Over to you, Mr. Walton.
Yes, Jose. We were discussing just now before the peak season, which normally starts in October and runs for 6 months. At this current time that we have implemented this new AOA, will assist with the high volume of imports that we have during that period of time. Mm-hmm. Just want to remind the public that December of last year, we had 30,000 import declarations come through our system and cleared by CBC. In June of this year, we had 26,000, and the trend thus far with imports have increased since 2020, and it continues. We don't anticipate any slowdown of imports at any given time. And that's why it's so important for us to streamline our processes. And a lot of these imports are small imports. And a lot of them are coming from newcomers, people who normally travel. And when travel became restricted, a lot of the persons who used to travel started to shop online, bring goods in, and they were not accustomed to our processes on the import side of things, which is I would say more complicated than a passenger. You go to shop, you pack your bag, you check in, and you come through customs, you make a declaration, and you clear. In this case, you have to go through other processes when you import commercially. We anticipate that, as I said, the imports to continue. In addition to that, persons are realizing it's not as difficult as people are saying to import goods. And they're becoming accustomed to that.
Yes.
And they're realizing there's a savings here. So we anticipate that it will continue even as we open our borders, because there's a savings to stay at home, order your goods online, bring it in rather than having to pay for an airline ticket, travel to the U.S. or wherever you go, pay for hotel, transportation, pick up your goods, and then drag it through the airport when you could sit at home in the convenience of your home and order your goods. So we don't anticipate it's going to be a slowdown anytime soon. However, we continue to use technology to assist us in helping us manage the imports as well as facilitate it. So you will see these changes as you go along. For example, we have planned for online payments.
Okay, that's one of the questions. Someone just sent a WhatsApp message and said, when can the public expect payments online? So that's quite timely.
Yeah, well, to be absolutely honest with you, CBC, we have the technology built out. It is more complicated than that because one government bank account, we're processing approximately 25,000 imports a month. That's a lot of payments through one bank account in addition to every other payments that go through.
Okay.
So we're working out the processes where I think the director could speak on this as it relates to what we're going to do with the accounts. But our idea is to launch online payments before the end of the year. Matter of fact, our plan is to finish the trade and control processing system by December 2021. And we move into 2022 with other build-outs on the border side in order to make our processes a lot easier and enhance our customer experience.
Excellent. Mr. Clifford, anything you want to mention on that? Or what I'll do is I'll ask this question in the meantime. Talk about all of these, the build-outs and everything. Your partners in this whole importation process, and I speak specifically to the airlines and the
shipping lines.
Shipping
Courier
companies. Yeah, courier companies. What are they doing in this regard? Because I see where some of your companion companies are not on the same page that you are on in terms of progressing the system. Some of them are still in their archaic, stages where you have to call them and find out, well, is the package here for me? They don't have a facility for you to inquire about it. Sometimes you get a phone call telling you that it's there. Sometimes you don't. Are we encouraging them to up their game as well?
Yeah, certainly, OC, and Mr. Walton will tell you that we've had quite a bit of consultation with all of our stakeholders. And one thing that was a sort of a game changer for all of us was COVID-19. No one could have anticipated that. Yeah. And so the significant increase in imports that we've spoken to so far created additional pressure on not just CBC, but on all of the courier companies, the consolidators, the brokers. No one could have anticipated this. So the additional pressure that was placed on all of us, we were able to deal with as an agency a little better because we had shut our borders down so we could, as I mentioned earlier, redeploy some staff from the airport. The companies that are used as agents to import goods, they had some challenges in terms of staffing up to meet the demand because it wasn't only a demand on us, but it was a demand on them as well. And so they've had some issues with that, with staffing up to meet that demand. And I know that we often get the blame for a delay in releasing goods. But what I can tell you is that before we set up our customer support center, a lot of those complaints came directly to me. And when I investigated them, and Mr. Walton can tell you, because I have 2 phones, and that's not a good thing. So 3 with one in the office. So I was getting a lot of the complaints personally, and having to investigate them, because we believe in excellent customer service. So I want to make sure that we're doing what we're doing on our end. When I investigated the majority of those cases, what I can tell you is that the delay wasn't on our end. In many cases, the declarations had not even been submitted to us for processing. So those are some of the things we've had to deal with. But we have tried our best to consult our stakeholders along the way, and to try to help them with whatever they need in terms of advice on what they needed to do from their side in terms of preparing for this kind of demand. But Mr. Walton was also leading that process, so he can speak more to that.
Okay, we will hear more from Mr. Walton when we return. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman time check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
I'm heading to Foster's. Do you need anything?
Yeah, can you get a packet of plant-based Beyond Meat burgers for dinner tonight and that Wicked Joe organic coffee that I love?
Can you also give me a tub of dairy-free Ripple ice cream? And we're running low on Ego's laundry detergent.
Does Foster's have all that?
Yeah, it's in their latest Foster's Finds catalog. That's where I find all their latest new and specialty products.
Foster's Finds are exclusively available at Foster's Camana Bay. Visit fosters.ky/finds to discover your new favorite products. Foster's, better choice because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We are here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Premier Honorable Wayne Panton joins officials from the Department of Environment, senior civil servants, and Marriott Resort Management to see firsthand the beach erosion issue. Speaking to CIGTV, Premier Panton says it is a significant concern and the problem has to be addressed as quickly as possible.
We basically need to try to find the longer-term solution, figure out what's causing this problem, and how we can address it, both in the short term as well as in the medium and long term.
Premier Panton says there are short-term solutions which will help, but that isn't going to last.
This is a national asset for the people of the Cayman Islands, for all of the tourists, for the operators that exist along this beach. But most of all, it's a national asset for the Cayman Islands, and we are at risk of losing too much of it. We've got to address this problem.
The Honourable Premier says a task force will be created to address the issue and will work over the coming weeks. A meeting is scheduled for some time today within an across-ministries approach in mind. Local supermarkets implement new COVID-19 staffing policy. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins reports.
Effective August 9th, 2021, Foster's Supermarket priced right Kirk Market, Hurley's Marketplace, and Cost You Less Grand Cayman will require all job applicants to have verified proof of vaccination to be considered for employment. Additionally, work permit renewals will only be processed for vaccinated team members. The decision supports the government's reopening plan introduced in June 2021, which aims to see 80% of the country's population vaccinated by September 9th, 2021. This joint COVID staffing policy will play a role in helping the government achieve its vaccination goal to protect public health, since the local supermarkets employ a significant portion of the local workforce. The supermarkets are currently working with their respective leadership teams to amend internal policies and plans in alignment with the government's reopening timeline to include points such as mask requirements for team members, social distancing, increased store sanitation, and more. As the government begins to reintroduce tourism and travel for the Cayman Islands, the major supermarkets will continue to monitor and follow all health and safety guidelines provided by the Health Services Authority. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins.
Over 70 guests enjoyed an evening with His Excellency Governor Martin Roper to celebrate 80 years of the Cayman Connection UK network. Former Cayman Islands London Officer Representative Jennifer Dilbert tells CHTV the network is all about helping them navigate the culture shock that they're going to get when they leave Cayman and head to different countries. The evening was also an opportunity to launch the US and Canada networks.
So far, it really had been about people, residents, students in the UK, but we are now going to be expanding that to the US, Canada, and around the world. So we're just encouraging everyone that is living abroad. We want to find out who they are, what they're doing, how they're doing, offer them any assistance, keep them connected. Not only students, but just residents all around the world.
Guests included current and prospective students preparing to travel overseas to study, Cayman Islands government officials, private sector and not-for-profit partners, and parents of students studying overseas. Students and friends are encouraged to sign up to Cayman Connection using the registration form on the website. That is caymanconnection.org. The life of Cayman's oldest resident, Wellesley Augustus Howell, is remembered in tributes and songs Saturday at a service of remembrance, thanksgiving, and celebration at First Baptist Church.
One of the enduring memories many will have of Mr. Howell will be the way he made them feel when they were in his presence, and I can certainly attest to that. His joy, his warmth was contagious. His sense of humor ever present, and he always had a kind or courteous word for everyone he met. One of the greatest blessings was to see Mr. Howell's zest for life never dimmed.
Along with national flags flown at half-mast on Friday in honor of Mr. Howell, during his tribute, Premier Honorable Wayne Panton also announced the authorization of a Cayman Islands stamp be made in his honor, completed as soon as the family finalizes the design. The service included tributes from daughters, sons and daughter-in-law, grandchildren, Parliament, the government, civil service, musicians, domino players, and musical tributes throughout. Mr. Wellesley Augustus Howell died on July 23rd. He was 106. That is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm Shanda Gallego.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June, 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
As a general rule, your septic tank should be pumped out by a professional at least every 3 years. During the hurricane season, however, it's important to keep your septic tank at least partially full to keep it from floating or collapsing during a storm. Be aware, be safe, be prepared. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
This week on The Flex, get ready.
If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast.
For beauty, sirens, and chains.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Our guest list includes this year's Miss Teen contestants, as well as 2 officers of the law.
Police, open up. What do you want? We just want to talk. You have a warrant? No, but just come outside. We want to talk with you. I don't want to talk. How many of you are there? There's 2 of us, sir. Go then, talk to each other.
We'll be speaking to 2 Flex family members about their adventures while working with the RCIPS.
All that and more this Wednesday from 4 to 5 on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Listen live on YouTube or call in and join the conversation. Flex, a program for all people by young people. Flex, more than talk.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
Pan American Life Insurance Group can help you take your employee benefit solution to the next level. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we've always delivered on our promise. PALIG is the only insurer providing group policies to as few as 3 employees and has the ability to combine life, health, disability, and income protection to provide you and your employees with a complete employee benefits package. Let us customize your employee benefits solution today. Call us at 949-8304 or visit our office at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
All right, good morning, Cayman. Let's quickly take a look at your latest weather conditions. Present temperature still 82 degrees Fahrenheit, nice and sunny on the outside. Feels like about 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 4 miles per hour. Relative humidity 83%. Last night's dew point was at 77. Barometric pressure at 29.97 and holding. Isolated showers along with light winds and slight seas are expected over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a weak pressure gradient over the northwest Caribbean. So our forecast for today, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index of 105. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Later this evening, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. High tide is coming up in the next hour at 9:44. It's going to be low at 3:52 this afternoon and high at 10:24 tonight. For tomorrow, low tide is at 4:45 a.m., high at 10:30 a.m., low at 4:27 p.m., and high at 10:53 p.m. Your sunset this Monday evening is at 6:55. Sunrise for Tuesday morning at 6:06. And the outlook is for an increase in cloudiness and showers from Tuesday morning through Wednesday as a tropical wave moves into and across the Northwest Caribbean. That's the latest weather right here on your Radio Cayman.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
We at Pan American Life Insurance Group are here to help you protect your family and your income. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we have always delivered on our promise. Life insurance is not only about death, but also about living benefits. We'll help you secure the life insurance, accident and sickness disability income you need to protect you and your family. Call us today at 949-8304 or visit our office, Unit 221 Cannon Place East, North Song Road, or visit www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, be realistic. It's important to set realistic goals and sub-goals. If you overcommit, then you may have difficulty sticking with your goal. Keep your goals doable. Choose goals that mesh with your other responsibilities. You may also need to tweak either the goals or other priorities if you find things aren't going well.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by On Course Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. On Course Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your traffic situation right now as you make your way into Georgetown. Of course, the East-West Arterial Crichton Boulevard got a good flow of moderate traffic. Getting to the roundabout at Red Bay with traffic coming out of Prospect. Expect that usual slow-moving traffic there, merging from 3 lanes into 2 lanes. And then getting to the roundabout just outside Hurley's, a little bit of movement there. And of course, heading northward towards the Linford-Pearson Highway, got a little bit of slow movements. Once you turn onto the Linford-Pearson Highway, you'll be met with some traffic there. Slow moving, of course. And if you're continuing on to Crew Road, similar with traffic in that area. Of course, getting closer to Georgetown as you move closer to the four-way stop there at Smiths Road. Expect that usual traffic, so expect about 8 to 10 minutes with a delay. If you're going towards the airport right now, roads are clear if you're going to the airport. And for those of you heading towards the roundabout at outside Butterfield, Butterfield roundabout, good flow of traffic there. Traffic coming off the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. Some heading along Godfrey Dixon Way. Heading east towards Dorsey Drive. Expect the usual traffic flow there as well. Looking at Shedden Road, a good flow of moderate traffic with some pedestrian crossing. Also looking at Godfrey Dixon Way, got some light traffic heading towards the west onto Eastern Avenue. And looking down at the West Bay Road from the Ritz-Carlton, good flow of traffic into Georgetown there as well. Of course, all of this eases up as the morning progresses, as you get into work, taking the kids to summer camp. Just be careful out there, buckle up and stay safe. Don't be texting while driving. Your traffic report brought to you by good friends at Subway.
Summer, the season for backyard gatherings, beach parties, office socials, and camps for kids. Make the most of your summer party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters or double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your summer with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Patient-friendly MRI experience in the Cayman Islands. With the most advanced scanner on island, utilizing cutting-edge technology, and a team of highly trained radiologists and technologists with the experience that rivals any clinic in the world. Our suite is designed for patient comfort, with the largest patient opening of any scanner, and additional features to minimize anxiety during your scan. Come to 3T Cayman MRI for your patient-friendly experience. Learn more at 3tkman.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. A truly exciting event is just around the corner. 4 hours of Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally excitement. Saturday, August 21st, noon until 4 p.m. Prizes around Gumball Rally car preparation, rally spirit, rally event notes, rally accuracy. Answer the questions and find the Rotary Central Gumball Rally finish line. The Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally, a fun event, not a race event. Register with only $100 per entry, up to 4 persons per rally car. The first ever Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally event. Register now at Rotary Central Facebook page or call 936-1344. Every Gumball Rally dollar will serve Rotary Central mental health projects. Rotary Central. Serve to change lives.
The Department of Environment would like to invite Cayman Brac residents to a special community meeting at the Spot Bay Primary School this Thursday, 12th August at 7:30 p.m. to discuss the conservation plan for the shrub known as Sybil's crownbeard. The entire world population of Sybil's crownbeard grows on the north-facing cliffs of Cayman Brac's Bluff. The community meeting is this Thursday, 12th August, 7:30 p.m. at Spot Bay Primary School. To learn more, download the plan from www.conservation.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Director of Customs and Border Control, Mr. Charles Clifford, Senior Deputy Director, Mr. Bruce Smith, and Deputy Director, Mr. Kevin Walton. We're talking about the continued rollout of the improvement in the customs process, their systems, and also talking about the effect of COVID and how that has pushed things along as well. We do have one WhatsApp message. And this listener has said, let Mr. Clifford and his staff know that the system is working very well, and I'm pleased with it. He says, I use it quite often as well.
All right. Thank that person very much for that comment.
Okay. Back over to you, Mr. Kevin.
Yeah, before the closing, we were discussing about partnership with our stakeholders.
Yes.
When we first started this technology build-out, of course there were reluctance and resistance in some cases. Along the way, well, it was Legacy Customs, now it's CBC, we have driven changes the partnership, realizing that technology is not going away anytime soon. I just want to remind the public of the manual process that we used to have before. You would have to fill out a declaration, bring your declaration with all your invoices and shipping documents, come into customs, sit down, sometimes the whole day, waiting until we clear you. We had papers in our mez. We had in our offices. Sometimes you walk through the office, you couldn't see the offices. Yeah. Now, today, we have foot traffic is very light in our clearance offices. And when we go online, as far as payments is concerned, we got to see that dwindle away. And now officers can put plants on their desks. You could see their faces. Our mez is clean, fresh. We have testimonies from persons who were reluctant at the time, and they come to you and say, Mr. Walton, when we first started out, I was not for this technology change. But he says, this is the best thing since sliced cheese, sliced bread. Some of the testimonies you get from it, it has driven changes within stakeholders. Stakeholders have now upped their game, introduced new technology. For example, instead of sitting down and manually putting in declarations, some of the stakeholders and large importers have built out what we call an XML file, which it automatically picks up your declaration from your system, dumps it into CBC system within 20 seconds, and then you're finished.
Okay.
We're also discussing advanced cargo information manifests. A lot of the shipping companies have already built and ready for us to submit these manifests to CBC, as well as the airlines. Cayman Airways is now approaching us and saying, CBC, we would like to have this discussion. Having advanced cargo information, we would be in the position to actually clear your goods before they arrive here. The couriers are also on board. They're working along with us with some advanced cargo information. Because they recognize the importance in having it, that we could get the goods clear before they actually touch. We're doing it now, but not on a large scale, because we need to have that manifest to determine what's coming in order to make those clearances. But I give you, for example, we're also partnering with some key stakeholders. Some of the couriers have approached us. We're actually going to move into their facilities.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they're building the facilities for CBC officers to the level, the standards that we require, have the necessary equipment, the security for us. We're going to move into their facilities and work from their facilities in order to offer that sort of service that is required in the demand. And, world-class civil service, customer experience, that is the direction we go in. We continue to improve our services as we go along. But it's very important to understand that you import your goods individually. It's a very quick process. You import your stuff in a container, as a consolidated container, with 200 or 300 other persons' goods. Obviously, it's going to be a delay, because that's 200 to 300 other declarations to be made. And if some of the importers are not compliant, it's going to delay your process. Yeah.
So those consolidators have to up their game as well to keep in stride with you.
And that's what we're working with them. We continue to work with them. We encourage them to get the XML file built out in their computer, so they don't have to sit down there in their technology. They don't have to sit down there and make a declaration for each and every one of those importers. They could just grab it from their system, upload it to our system automatically within a few seconds, and it's done. But I know of some consolidators that sit down for days, sometime a week, inputting the information in manually. And that is what slows down the process. And we want people to understand that when you import goods through consolidators, prepare to wait. Yeah, we continue to encourage persons to provide the consolidators with the necessary information, invoices, etc. Used to be appointment of agents, but now we have automated that, so they can go right online and appoint the agent. But consolidated shipments take longer to clear, other than loose cargo, single import. And it's very important that you understand that. But we continue to work with them and encourage them to upper their game, to build out the technologies that's necessary to make it more convenient. But we have a very good relationship with all the agents.
Sure. So for those individuals out there, just like any provider of a service, you would, question them about the quality of their service and what they do. I would imagine then that if I were going to be using a consolidator, one of the questions that I would ask them now is, how do you submit, your declarations, your invoices, or whatever it is, to customs? How is that done?
Exactly.
And that will determine which one of those, companies you're likely to go to as well.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that issue that you've just spoken to, OC, is where the majority of the delays rest. Where if a company isn't prepared to do it efficiently through technology upgrades, then the customers can expect a delay.
Yes.
But I wanted to just say that everything that we've spoken about this morning in relation to our technology upgrades, really the fundamental policy that underpins all of that is our transition to an intelligence-led risk management organization. So you would have heard us talk about this on previous appearances on your program, that the old concept of the old practice of the gatekeeper's approach, where we did the same level of scrutiny perform the same level of scrutiny for all imports for all passengers, that's the primitive method and is not best practice. What we need to do is to continue our transition to the intelligence-led approach and the risk management approach, because that's where we begin to focus more on where the greatest risks are. And in doing so, we can be a lot more effective than we were in the past in relation to revenue collection and border protection generally.
Okay. I think we're going to hear from Mr. Bruce Smith. When we return, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then after we hear from Mr. Bruce Smith, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. I know persons have been inquiring whether or not the phone lines are open yet. Soon come. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope, no matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Health City is now open at Camana Bay, offering a wide range of specialties at our state-of-the-art Camana Bay Clinic. We are here to help you save time and feel better. We are open weekdays, weekends, and evenings for your convenience and are dedicated to reducing your wait time while improving your health. Friendly staff, expert care, lab services, and diagnostics in one convenient location from the hospital you know and trust. Health City at Camana Bay, within your reach.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Representatives from the management of Customs and Border Control in the studio with me this morning. Director, Mr. Charles Clifford, Senior Deputy Director, Mr. Bruce Smith, and Deputy Director, Mr. Kevin Walton. We're going to hear from Mr. Smith now. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. O.C. We just heard about the technological advances that we're moving with, and how we intend to make the commercial import process smoother and more user-friendly. Mm-hmm. But no discussion would be complete in the customs sense, or the Customs and Border Control sense, I should say, without looking at the sort of the darker side of the business. Illegal drugs is probably one of the most cliche topics to be discussing when it comes to border control. But the insatiable hunger that the world is seeing right now for getting that high, yes, hasn't left Cayman alone. It's been here, and it's going to continue. And at CBC, we are going to make sure that in the enforcement and investigation and preventative side of our business, that we identify the trends, establish profiles, and look at how in amongst the legitimate side of our business that we can pull the bad actors and their activities as well. Commercial fraud, of course, cannot be overlooked, and those things go hand in hand in terms of the economy and everything else. Over the last year and a half, and let me say that COVID has not necessarily impeded the bad actors' activities. They've attempted to take advantage of the situation, and has caused us then to have to focus a lot on that aspect, which is again the balancing act that we have to identify.
Exactly.
I'll be careful not to get into too many specifics or too much specifics. A lot of what we currently are involved with are still ongoing, matters before the court, and matters that are currently being investigated. One of the things that I would like just to say quickly is the uniqueness of customs crimes and customs offences. It has it's layered, it's tiered, and it is our responsibility to peel away those layers to get to the right people, in the sense that are shipping goods, that are acting as agents, that are getting involved and having interest in the shipment. And these investigations certainly are complex. It is just as complex as the other side of our business, and we want to ensure that we pay equal attention to that. So Customs and Border Control has not lost focus whatsoever on that issue. Okay. Mr. Clifford just mentioned very briefly our mission to be an intelligence-led, risk-managed organization, and that is where we want to go, and that is the fight that we're going to bring to the bad actors that will intend to exploit our controls. Recently, we've had, and some of these conveyances are not new. We've had these, for the last 30 years. The importation of cocaine in containers. We had cases of MDMA ecstasy, those sort of things. The MDMA ecstasy is probably one of the newest forms of drugs and narcotics but it has not let up. It continues to be the party choice drug, and bad actors, fraudsters, perpetrators will continue, and they import these things and concealed in many ways, sometimes masked with legitimate pharmaceuticals. Of course, the common ganja and marijuana, cannabis, as some folks refer to it as, we've seen a shift certainly to other ports of origin. North America has been a high player in the game. For whatever reason, these persons would choose to import from, not so common areas. But we believe that scientifically, they're modifying, the ganja plant, growing it hydroponically, getting more luscious leaves and putting it in greenhouses and all those kind of things. So we're going to ensure that we continue the focus, the intelligence-led, risk-managed, working along, and everything that we build in terms of the enhancing of technology is going to include the checks and balances that are going to allow us to not lose focus on anything that we are mandated to focus upon. The revenue side, the prohibited and restricted goods, all of those things are going to be taken into context. We've arrested a number of people, not only the direct importers, but we've arrested people who are concerned, and we will continue to follow that aspect, and also looking at the money laundering side of the business, where the money is coming from, who's funding these illegal activities, and get to understand actually why people are doing what they're doing, so that we can be as close to them as possible. And I would just like to say in that vein is that we will develop actionable intelligence, and we will pursue the shippers, the consolidators, the forwarders, the agents, anyone who may be involved in the illegal importation and exportation, as a matter of fact, of illegal drugs. So most recently, and it was most concerning, we've had a case of edibles, the marijuana edibles. So what edibles are is that they are ganja infused in food products. That makes it attractive for youngsters. Mm-hmm. It's colorful. It's easily concealed. It's you can have them in your candy jar. And as the education and awareness component has been pushing forward for so long, it is concerning to see that we're sort of coming back to from where we started with some of these things. But certainly Customs and Border Control is going to vigorously, ambitiously, and with no concern for how much effort it takes to make sure that these persons are identified, mm-hmm. and that the goods, illegal activities is identified and dealt with properly.
Okay.
Mr. Clifford?
Yeah, I just wanted to underscore a couple of points, OC, and thank Mr. Smith for his contribution. He spoke to the whole issue of the re-engineering of the ganja plant. And I don't want to I'm not a scientist, but I've done a lot of research on this. And you will remember days back in various operations when you were in immigration. I was in the drugs task force of the police service at the time. The ganja plants that we saw back then are not the types of ganja plants and ganja that we're seeing today. The plant has been re-engineered, and there's a lot of documentation on this in relation to some of the varieties that's in the market now that are just as dangerous as hard drugs, and I think people need to understand that. I'll just kind of leave that comment there for the moment, but I think people really do need to do some research into that, and perhaps their thinking might change on it. But from our point of view, it is still illegal under our laws, and we have to enforce our laws, and we have been doing that. We've made a number of interceptions, which Mr. Smith just made reference to. One of our most recent interceptions, just about a week and a half ago, I think, was over 30 pounds coming through one of our controls. And the methods of concealment vary from things that we were used to seeing back in the day to some real creative methods of smuggling now. So we have from time to time issued press releases in relation to our interceptions, and you would have seen some of those. But there are other interceptions that we've made that we've not spoken about simply because of the nature of the investigation. They're ongoing investigations, and we don't want to prejudice the outcome of those. So,
and you may not want people to know also that you're on to the way
correct.
that they're
that's
operating now.
correct, absolutely. Because the truth is, some of the methods we are seeing, it's not. You look at something sometimes and you say, well, that's not just a one-off event. That's happened before, and it's not just intended for this market. It's probably intended for markets internationally. So those are the kind of things that we consider, and law enforcement is joined up in various ways throughout the region and internationally. And we do what we can to continue this fight in the interests of the community and the safety of the community.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. Then we're going to open up the lines. The first query that I have here, it says, my question is, why do importers have to pay duties on what we already paid to freight forwarders, for example, Cayman Airways? So we'll ask you to answer that question when we return. Folks, phone lines will be open now. If you have any questions or comments in relation to customs and border control, you have the gentleman here with all of the answers. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman. Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio, Mr. Charles Clifford, Director of Customs and Border Control, Senior Deputy Director, Mr. Bruce Smith, and Deputy Director, Mr. Kevin Walton. We have this WhatsApp message, but we also have a caller, and I know that the callers have been chomping at the bit to get on the phone, so let's go straight there. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
Fine, thanks.
And good morning to your guests.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
see, I just got a question for you guys.
Sure.
And then I'll hang up and listen to the answer. And I listened pretty much just now to what the gentleman had to say regarding using an agent versus bringing it in yourself. And I understand all of that, but we are doing a little bit of remodeling right now, and we've been using CICA. And we had some stuff. We got stuff that has been on the island since the 15th of June. And up to this day, we haven't been able to receive those goods. I mean, is that a reasonable time? Can you answer me after I hang up and tell me if that's a reasonable time or it's not a reasonable time? Should I accept this? I don't think it's right because, I mean, this is going on 2 months that our stuff is still there and we can't collect it. So.
Can we ask you this question? What is your importer telling you?
Well, they're saying that, you know, it's customs that is, you know, having the delay. And a lot of times they'll say, well, you know, we need certain invoices and we'll provide that. And then I don't want to say anything bad about CICA, but the problem we're having right now, CICA does a pretty good job, but a lot of issues that we're facing right now is that a lot of these businesses are having people that doesn't understand the business and doesn't speak proper English. And I think this is where some of the problem lies, but we can't get our stuff up to now. So I don't know if the gentleman have anything to comment on that regarding whether that's reasonable, or can you look into it and try to, if there's a problem, rectify it and try to find some way to sort something out, because, I mean, 2 months, I mean, this is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. Caller, can I just ask you to stay on the line for a minute?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the answer to your question is no. That's not the kind of delay that customers should expect in receiving their goods. What we would like to do, though, is to investigate your case specifically. So we're not going to ask you to do it on air, but if you could give us your declaration number or the details of your shipment, we will check into that to let you know exactly what the problem is, or if there's a problem and where the problem is. Mr. Walton, I'll just ask Mr. Walton to comment further and also to give you the information where you can send your declaration details to, so we can investigate that for you.
Can I, Mr. Clifford, can I give Kevin my number and he can contact me and I'll get all of the information for him, and then we can do it like that, because I know Kevin. I know you're really good too, but I know Kevin.
That's fine, Mr. Thompson. What I can ask is, okay, just go ahead and give us the number, and we'll get in touch with you.
It's 924-3030.
924-3030.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
no problem, sir. We'll be in touch with you.
Thank you very much, and have a good morning.
You too.
924-3030. Okay. And
3030.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just add to that.
Sure.
And that is exactly why we have the emailing notification. If that gentleman has not received an email from CBC to say that your declaration has been submitted to CBC, the date it was submitted, and what the status is of the import, that means that has not been submitted to CBC as yet. Yeah? And it's totally unacceptable. That length of time is unacceptable. We have time periods for clearances.
Mm-hmm.
For example, individual shipments, 1 business day. Matter of fact, it takes a matter of probably an hour before they're finished. Yeah, consolidated shipments, there's a longer process because we have a large amount of imports.
Mm-hmm.
We aim to finish them within 24 hours to 48 hours once we receive them. Yes. This particular shipment for gentlemen, I would like to investigate myself specifically, but I just want the public to understand that if you have not received an email from CBC to say that your declaration has been submitted, this is your declaration number, and it's waiting payment, that means the agent has not submitted a declaration to CBC as yet.
Excellent. Okay. We have 3 callers queued up, so we're going to try to take as many before we go to the headline news at 9 o'clock, but we're going to ask the 3 gentlemen to accommodate us and stay beyond 9 o'clock, which they plan to leave us at 9. But if you have questions or comments, they will continue to remain here. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning. You and your panel.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
I would like to address a few issues, and I'll leave it to Mr. Walton and Mr. Chaka to answer back after I finish. Okay?
Okay.
Every time that something like this comes up, people call, complain, and they're frustrated. I know since Chaka went to take over the Customs and Border Patrol, I've realized one thing. It's a lot of confusion, even though they're trying to do things for the greater good. I remember one time ago when we go clear stuff, if stuff came in one day, you could clear it within today. The same day you could get it. As long as you got your area bill and you get into the custom office, it can be. I understand that they try to smooth screen to keep everything electronical. To me, just a problem sometimes, because if something come in today, we have to have a wait a day or two sometime, and at the end of the day, as Mr. Walton said, it might be the problem. It could be the freight forwarder or the air handler, or that's handling your goods. That is the problem. And what he said, he would investigate that situation where that gentleman just called about on a one-off basis. Listen to me, man. And I need to come up with a strategy. Whenever the customer set up a system that sometime a customer have a problem like this, they could pick up the phone and call directly to you all, so you know whenever them people...
But caller, let me interrupt for a second. Yes, Customs and Border Control are not acknowledging that it is their issue. They're not saying that what the previous caller spoke about was a Customs and Border Control issue. They have given assurances to look into it to determine exactly what it is, but they don't feel that it is their that is a customs problem.
I'm not saying their problem. I said whenever you go DHL, FedEx, any one of them that's telling the customer BS, because I had an incident where a few months before I got my product as well. You understand, and everything they're saying, well, customer haven't cleared it. Whenever you have customer complaining, you go deal with them directly and charge them. Because if I had made the customer and them, they would want to charge me.
Got you. Okay. Your next point.
Okay, and the next point, whenever you talk about with drugs and stuff, and as Mr. Chaka said before, that they have changed up tactics to things that they've seen what people have been doing to get drugs in here. The system isn't about the small man. They're targeting the wrong person. Follow the money, you know exactly who's in our world. At the end of the day, until when we get a radar station in this country and a good X-ray machine, the X-ray machine that they had up there by Portland Road, I don't know what happened to that. Listen, from a pin head, a needle head come in this country, everything's supposed to be rigorous checked. They target the small man. I don't care where they want to. They could take it the wrong way, but they goes after the small person harder. The big old container and the big old shipments that coming in there, that's the one that they need to dig up. And because it's so big, they don't want to take the time out.
Thank you.
I'll leave that to them and let them answer about it.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you, Val?
Yeah, and good morning to the leader, the director, my good friend, and good morning to the deputy director, my other good friend.
I thought you were going to say my not too good friend.
No, they're all my friends.
Okay.
Good morning. Know that. I don't know if you guys have covered. I just jumped in the car. I was at a football camp. My question, but I know of work permit holders here on the island that are bringing in numbers like 1,400. I mean, not 1,400, like 14 and the likes of one time of these domestic cars are coming out of Japan, and the way they're invading the custom intelligence is by not clearing it themselves, but getting an agent to clear it so that they are not up front. So I just wonder if they have touched on that, or if there's anything implemented to counter that.
Sure, go ahead, Kevin. Go.
Yes, Mrs. Smith did touch on technology, and using technology is part of our strategy to be able to, for border security as well as managing trade and revenue. Exactly, and I welcome this question from the caller. Before having an AOA process where the person fills out a form, gives the agent the appointment of agent to submit to CBC, they kind of are in the background.
Yes.
We don't know much about the importer. Remember that the agent is only an agent that handles the goods.
Right.
And their job is to ensure that they're compliant with CBC processes. But this sort of question or concern that the caller has is another side of other legislation that we need to, and this is to do with business license, for example, or working outside the terms and conditions of your work permit.
Yes.
Having this process now in place, persons cannot hide behind the curtain anymore because they now have to register with CBC. They have to provide certain information and photo IDs so we know who the individuals are.
And if anyone were impersonating them or doing it on their behalf, they have to realize the risks that they're involving themselves in. So if I try to front for someone, let's say a foreigner who's importing something, but they don't want to get caught, so they want it to appear as if it is Orrett Connor, I have to recognize the burdens that I'm taking on my shoulder in terms of if something is wrong.
And you're absolutely right. Yeah. The technology is a management tool. Yeah. It helps us gather the necessary intelligence in order for us to enforce the laws. And what the caller brought up is exactly what this sort of process will do for us going forward.
Okay.
Also, you said Mr. Smith was there?
Yes, he is.
Okay, all right. Good morning, Mr. Smith, too. Sorry about that. I didn't know. I just got into the car and listening.
Good morning to you, sir. Nice to hear your voice.
Right. Okay. You guys have a good day.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys are on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because that's a big problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Phone lines are all queued up, so we're going to take top of the hour headline news. When we return, we're going to continue to take as many calls as possible. We're going to ask people to please be as brief as possible as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman, the voice,
The heart.
the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
No positive COVID-19 test results to report from the batch of 416 COVID-19 tests carried out last Thursday. There have been 98,419 COVID-19 vaccinations given in total in the Cayman Islands to date. Of these, 71% of Cayman's population have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 68% have completed the two-dose course. Turning to international news now, the Taliban have seized the city of Talakwan in the northeastern Afghanistan, marking the fifth provincial capital to fall under their control in just a matter of days. A local journalist confirmed to CNN on Monday. Talakwan, the capital of Takhar province, is the latest in a string of victories that come as foreign forces led by the United States complete their withdrawal from Afghanistan. The first provincial capital, near the Iranian border, fell to the Taliban on Friday. The next fell on Saturday. Around 39% of residents in Plumas County, California, are under evacuation orders as officials battle the second largest fire in state history, the Plumas County Sheriff's Office said on Sunday. Plumas is one of 4 counties under the intense blaze of the Dixie Fire, which has been raging for 25 days and increased in activity Sunday amid hot, dry, and windy conditions, according to CAL FIRE. And the United Nations has condemned the practice of child marriage in Zimbabwe following the death of a 14-year-old girl after she gave birth at a church shrine, an incident that caused outrage among citizens and rights activists. The case has brought to the fore the practice of child marriage within Zimbabwe's apostolic churches, which also allow polygamy. Those are your latest headlines here on Radio Cayman. I'm Shanda Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm told that we still have 2 callers on hold, but one of the earlier callers, we just want to address a point that he's made before we go back to our caller. So hang in there 1 second, caller, just for this explanation, Mr. Walton.
Yeah, as far as assistance, we have a customer support center specifically set up, established for persons to call in. And the number is 649-4579, and you press 0. It is they're there to answer for imports, travel, and vessels. So you can press and select the specific questions that you may have. And for imports, it's 1. So you press 0, then 1 for imports, and they're there to assist you. As it relates to finding agents, there's no legislation for us to do that. Yeah, there are jurisdictions, however, who have established legislation that regulates agents or commercial importers who work or deal with imports on behalf of other persons. Those regulations allow customs in those jurisdictions to be able to ensure that the agents remain compliant and give the necessary services that are required. We don't have such a legislation in the Cayman Islands. Yeah, but if they do in the Cayman Islands, if the agents do commit any sort of offense under the customs law, Customs and Border Control, then we can fine them or charge them for those infringements.
Got you. Okay.
I just wanted to add to that, OC. The caller before the last one also made reference to our X-ray machine, and we're in the process now of changing over to a new main scanner X-ray. That doesn't mean that we're not doing physical inspections of imports coming in, and of course we have smaller scanners in other areas that we're using. So I wouldn't want the public to get the impression that we're not scanning goods that are coming in. And the other issue that I wanted to address, which he mentioned, was he made a claim that we were only focusing on the small man in terms of smuggling. But the truth of the matter is, we have to deal with what we have to deal with at the points of import, and that's where the investigations start. So whoever is importing something illegal, that's where the investigation starts, and we take it from there. Some investigations we can progress beyond that point. Others we can't, simply because the information isn't there, whether that's from a financial point of view or from the point of view where the main suspect isn't cooperating. There are varying reasons why certain investigations can't progress beyond a certain point. And then the final point I wanted to address was the way we used to process imports before. If we had continued using that methodology, which was a very primitive one, just imagine, based on the number of imports that we're receiving now, just imagine the delays that we will be dealing with on our end. Whereas the majority of the delays now, and I'm not saying that we don't have some delays on our end. If we select a particular import based on a risk management strategy or intelligence that's coming to us, if we select an import for inspection, then yes, the release of that import is going to be delayed because we have to inspect it. And as a law enforcement agency, we can't apologize for that. We have to do what we have to do. That's part of our responsibility. But that's how it is. But a lot of the delays are on the other end, where either the technology build-out has not taken place with some of the agents, whether those are couriers or consolidators or brokers, or they haven't been able to staff up to meet the demand that we currently have. So we could not possibly manage the number of imports we're getting now using the old system. So we had to make that change.
Excellent.
Yeah, and to the director's point, looking at statistics here, October of 2019, when we had all our sections online, we had 16,000 imports. In December of 2020, we had 30,000. So that's to the director's point. Just imagine us trying to go through the manual process with that, and if the young man that was doing the declaration was getting out of customs in a timely manner when we had our manual system, and he was quite lucky because not everyone was able to do that.
Experience,
yes, and we had people who had to come back the next day and the next day. And that's why we moved to the technology. And it's not just far as trade facilitation. It's also for border control. Our left hand knows what our right hand is doing, our right hand knows what our left hand is doing. So we have a streamlined process using technology and sharing of information and intelligence throughout our organization and outside of the scopes where our other trade partners. Yeah.
But I should say this as well, OC. Change requires patience.
Yes.
People generally don't like change. After a while, they get used to it and they understand the benefits. But we are being as patient as we can in helping our customers and trying to deliver the best customer service that we can. And as we move through these various phases of upgrading our technology, we also ask for the public to have patience. Because they're going to witness and experience some change, and the project is not finished yet. But at the end of the day, I think most people are beginning to see the benefits, and you would have received some of those positive messages.
Yep. 4 callers. Let's go to the phone line. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As brief as possible.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Oh, CBC. I'm so happy when I see them on the street. That big old, them 2 big old letters in the back.
Thank you.
Good morning to you guys.
Thank you.
Good morning.
I love my CBC. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Good morning, OC. Good morning, Chucky.
Good morning.
Kevin. It's Hanson.
Hi. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm calling to just tell you guys that I know you're picking up a lot of flack, but I've had to explain to people on your behalf sometimes that, you know, like you said, when you put changes in place, they don't always go smoothly at the beginning. There were some minor hitches, and I corresponded just verbally face to face with Kevin a few times on them, a little bit of input, and I have to say that I am just elated on the quality of service that you guys are providing right now.
Thank you.
It's a whole heap lot less stress.
Thank you very much for those comments.
I really appreciate it. All the staff is very friendly, courteous now. It is beautiful. Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Is that me?
Yes, you are. That's you. Sounds like you.
Hey. All right. Good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody there. I guess I've been in the importing business for, 50 years of my life right now. But, and I've seen it all. So, but I must say I got to thank that other caller for just because I was just going to say when we had a glitch in service and what it is, Kevin was gracious enough to come over and help us out. So just up front, Kevin, thank you, Jackie, and Mr. Smith over there.
Thank you.
But my question is, and I know one of the things that seems to be clogging this up, and when we get into, and I just heard you say you jumped from 15,000 to 30,000, which is a 100% jump there.
Yes.
Doubled,
that was in 2020 between October was 16,000 and then in December we had 30,000.
Yeah. And one of the things that I seem to see happening with this is that, you know, and I see this in the run of business and every day when people come in and say to me, oh, but we're having such a hard time in getting this out of customs and, you know, we don't know, not a point in going to. And I think one of the problems is here that we've got so many people all of a sudden jumping into the system and saying they're importers and they're in there one time. I don't know, you guys know the logistics behind that, if that's something that you're seeing happening. But on the other hand, there is the fact, I just had something come in by FedEx at the first of last month, which I don't do very often because I got so aggravated with the delay. One was with UPS, the other one was with FedEx. And if I hadn't been the person that I am and go out and interject into this and find out what's going on and where it lands, but I'll just deal with the most current one, which was the FedEx one, which arrived here on the 7th of July. And as we all know, we had the 4th of July weekend in the States, and it was scheduled by FedEx on their documented form to be delivered on the 7th. And sure enough, when I checked the incoming documentation, it said it had arrived here on the 7th. I waited for almost 2.5 weeks before I was able to get that package. Now, I'm not saying this is customs' fault, because finally I got so aggravated I walked over to the customs office to find out what was going on. Because I couldn't get an answer from FedEx, and I couldn't get
Caller, we have other callers queued up, so I'm going to ask you to please be as brief as possible.
All right, thanks. I'll be brief. But when I got there finally on that afternoon and asked for it, I was told by customs that they were waiting on FedEx to bring it into them, that it was in some locked bin or something. Is this something that is occurring all the time, or what? That's the question, primarily.
Okay. Okay.
Customs said they had just cleared it, put it in their system, as it had only just been brought to them. It took FedEx another 4 days to get it to me.
Yes, I know the time. Yeah. And thank you, caller, for your comments and recognizing our efforts over the period of time. 50 years of importing, that's a long time. Yes, there were some period of time in July that FedEx did have some challenges, and we have worked along with them and sorted that out, and that's why we plan to even improve our services. And I must say that they are one of the couriers that
where you have a physical presence.
Yeah, we have a physical presence. Yeah, okay. There was a period of time, and as I remind customers, always look for that email, and that will tell you, that will give you the status of your import. When there is an inspection, and that's what it sounds like with this gentleman. He imported goods, and they needed to be inspected, and that happens at times, and that causes a delay if there's not a streamlined process. And in some cases, the couriers have experienced triple amount of imports that they had before. We have experienced overall a double, but they have experienced triple. So they have in their importing logistics, they had to re-engineer the way that they do business and how they do it. And this is one of the things that we are doing. We partner with them. We're going into their facilities and trying to help them to streamline their processes.
Okay. Paul, I know the caller has been waiting, so we're going to take the next caller before we go to the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. Good morning to Charles Clifford. Good morning to Bruce Smith. Good morning to Walton. I know Kevin long time.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Seem to be very popular nowadays.
No, this is Jeffrey Woods. I just want to say that you all have been doing a remarkably good job.
Yes,
I have been with the paperwork. I've been with the new system, and trust me, give me the new system any day of the week.
Thank you for that, Jeffrey.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
I have seen the shuffles, and trust me, when they were phasing into the new system, that was when the problems were, because they were doing both. They were doing the paper and the new system, and trust me, I had said at one time, I said, my boss is going to fire me, and yet I'm self-employed. So, but it's very painless now. I mean, I can go sleep at night and do my form, and next day it's ready.
Good to know.
So,
good to know.
Good job, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And also, I could just mention, far as our happy or not, I'm looking at it right now at the counter services, which is their cargo, and we know it commonly as the collections. 90% happy.
Wow.
90% happy. At the airport post office, which we haven't gotten full technology implementation there is yet, that's at 87. Overall, CBC's happy or not is 86%.
Wow,
that's
commendable.
And that's been consistent too for many, many months.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, gentlemen, I want you to consider this observation. Person says, asking for 2 forms of government ID and a birth certificate to register with CBC. Is that an infringement of the Data Processing Act that we have? Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
You don't always have to give up the food you love to live a healthier life. You just have to choose better to eat better. At Caribbean Bakery, we know that delicious, nutritious bread only uses a few ingredients that leads to better taste, better health, and an overall better experience. We focus on simple, quality ingredients while leaving out the bad ingredients that commercial bread brands are known for and can lead to illness. Feed your body, feed your family with 100% additive-free, freshly baked bread from Caribbean Bakery. And don't miss our hot bread Sundays, freshly baked loaves delivered to McRuss Grocery Store every Sunday morning. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Health City is now open at Camana Bay, offering a wide range of specialties at our state-of-the-art Camana Bay Clinic. We are here to help you save time and feel better. We are open weekdays, weekends, and evenings for your convenience and are dedicated to reducing your wait time while improving your health. Friendly staff, expert care, lab services, and diagnostics in one convenient location from the hospital you know and trust. Health City at Camana Bay, within your reach.
The Department of Education Services and the Public Health Department would like to inform parents that health screening for new students will take place during the summer until August 23rd across Grand Cayman schools. The Public Health Department will be visiting your district schools and will be contacting you regarding school health screening appointment. Health screenings will also continue during September and October for those children who were not screened during the summer.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have that email question, but we do have callers on hold, so we like to give the callers preference so that they don't have to hold on for too long. So let's go to the phone lines. First caller. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Mr. O'C and your guest from CBC.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kevin and Bruce.
Good morning.
I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but I have a question. I think before you said you were going to explain how the duty is charged, and I just wanted to understand how come it's charged on the freight and the insurance are charged with the value of the good. And the reason I asked that is because I brought in a part for my stove, an igniter for the gas part of the oven, and that part is being sold here on island for $150, right? So I went online and I found it for $18 US. And then I said, let me take a chance and bring it in, and then I'd know how much it would really cost and what they're adding on.
Mm-hmm.
When I got the invoice from the shipper, it said that the cost of the duty was going to be $557. So the value of that good is actually 15 CI. And I couldn't understand why it was over 33% in terms of the duty. And then I just heard you all on, and they said they would charge me the duty on the insurance and the freight and the value of the goods. So I just wanted them to explain why you're adding in freight and the air handling. If I was coming in on the airplane and I had that little $18 good in my bag with other stuff and I went over, would you have charged me the same freight and all of that? So I just wanted to understand.
Okay. OC, let me just thank that caller for that question, and in fact for reminding us that we didn't address that point earlier.
Yes. I'll hang up and then I'll just listen to your response.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks again for the question. So the question of why we charge duty on insurance and freight is a legal question. It's a legal requirement in the law that we do so, and that's why we do it. But I should say that that's not just unique to Cayman. That's sort of the standard across the world in relation to import duties. So I think our legislation simply reflects the fact that it's a sort of standard globally. I don't know whether Mr. Walton wanted to add to that, but it's a legal requirement. So we are a law enforcement agency. We don't set the policies. If there was to be, or if there is to be a change in that policy, that would have to come from central government.
Yes, as the director said, it's according to legislation. Cost, insurance, and freight duties is tariffs are applied according to cost, insurance, and freight, and then of course the amount of duty then you have to pay, because tariffs vary, and in her case it would have been 22%, and that is one thing you must look after when you're going to import goods. Always look at the cost to ship it here, as well as to pay the duties, because sometimes it just pays to just go to the store and pick it up.
Now, the freight, does that include, let's say, for instance, you may have Amazon Prime and you get free shipping from within the United States from your from the merchant to
it's
your forwarder.
It's nothing free.
Right.
They
but what I'm saying is, if it's actually shows up in your bill that you paid $5 or $10 shipping within the United States, you charge on that as well?
Yes.
And I think that's where the people have questions in relation to that.
Yeah,
now I can say what you gentlemen can't say, because you're all the civil servants, but the same way that government in the past have looked at the individual custom allowance that you're allowed when you're traveling, is something that if the government wants to take into consideration and say, well, we want to ease up the costs for the individual importer in that regard, then that is something that you should lobby for and see whether or not the government will be inclined to do that. Because some people do find it to say, well, I can understand the freight from the United States to Cayman, but freight within the United States as well, whether or not you're really overreaching to a certain extent and charging what the U.S. should be charging rather than you.
Well, the law is there, as the director said. We must bear in mind that Customs and Border Control contributes 30% of government's overall revenue. So if the government don't get the revenue here, they have to get it someplace else, obviously. So it would call for change in policy.
And it depends on how much, I'm sure that you can calculate and know how much you actually revenue you derive from that portion of it, and see whether or not it is something that government
it's
would
going to be a challenge to
surrender.
police if they decide to go with personal goods versus commercial goods now, because it's going to be difficult for us to police that. If they're going to do it, please give us enough time, because we have to make technology changes, and the big changes in our technology.
Okay. Well, we're going to start lobbying for that one. One more caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning to your panel.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have a package. It finally got to Miami. This is from October. It was sent from Fort Lauderdale, and it was in Fort Lauderdale for a period of time. We've been trying to track it down for some time now, and understand that it was down in Miami post office now, I assume. And that is from October last year. And just can't seem to get this package to the Cayman Island. Anyhow, I got a package came out of Georgia a couple of months ago, and less than 2 weeks, I received that package here on island. But at the post office, it took me 4 trips to the post office before I could receive the package. And the last trip that I made, I told them that I was coming back for it because it was held up in customs. And then here again, they couldn't find it. They couldn't find it after it was cleared from customs. So I told them I was going to come back to that post office by the airport until they called me. And a couple of days later, then they called and said I had found the package. But the package that is sitting there between Fort Lauderdale and Miami can't get to the Cayman Island. And we got Cayman Airways coming every day, and one coming from Georgia, and it already made it to the Cayman Islands. It's something to think about. But you all don't have to put no input if you all don't care to. But I'm just letting you know what has taken place with a package still waiting to come to the Cayman from last year, October. Oh, see, are you going to have an open line?
Depends on how much time we have after these gentlemen leave. If we continue to get calls, they're going to stay until 10 o'clock. If not, then if the calls stop coming in, they will wrap up and leave, and we may have some time, but I can't guarantee you. It will depend on the calls.
Okay, so we can't talk about nothing else but just customs today, right?
Okay, but God willing, Wednesday will be here.
It might kill me.
But caller, can I just ask? You mentioned the package at the post office. I'm not clear on whether you've actually received that now, or do you need us to investigate that issue?
No, I finally received it.
Okay,
After like
all
4 to 5 days of trying to pick it up from the post office.
Okay.
In Cayman.
Okay.
I finally got it. They called me and told me that they had found it.
4 to 5 days, you
I got
said?
a package. 4 to 5 days. The post office. It was a custom time, and I keep going back there, and they say it not get to them yet. And when I say get to them yet, it could have been customs within the post office building. I'm not fully sure how that works. So don't get me wrong, okay?
Okay. Well, that's more than a delay. That's more of a delay than you should have expected. So if you...
it was like a 4 or 5 days run up and down. So I told him, I said, hey, I ain't coming back here. You're going to have to call me.
Right. So if you want to provide the details to us, not on air, but you can do that, and we can investigate that and let you know what went wrong.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I just wanted to know how it was running at that present time.
Okay, all right.
But the package that is in Miami sitting there, I would love to get that. That's sitting there from October.
Sorry, but we don't have any control over that one.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to the aircrafts yet.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Have a good day,
caller, as well. Paul, any more calls on hold? No calls? Okay. We'll take the commercial break, and then I'd like you gentlemen to address the issue of the type of government ID that is required and whether or not it's an infringement. Does it infringe the Data Protection Act? So, folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Health City is now open at Camana Bay, offering a wide range of specialties at our state-of-the-art Camana Bay Clinic. We are here to help you save time and feel better. We are open weekdays, weekends, and evenings for your convenience and are dedicated to reducing your wait time while improving your health. Friendly staff, expert care, lab services, and diagnostics in one convenient location from the hospital you know and trust. Health City at Camana Bay, within your reach.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Do you have plans to travel to the UK? You must provide a letter of certification from Public Health and your vaccination certificate issued in the Cayman Islands. If traveling to the UK via the Bahamas, the United States, Canada, Jamaica, or any other Amber List country. If you are traveling directly to the UK from Cayman, no letter of certification is necessary. Letters of certification may be requested by emailing nola.sanderson@hsa.ky. Travelers must attach a copy of their vaccination card as a screenshot attached to their email request. All requests will take 3 business days to process, and letters will only be issued within 3 weeks of a person's date of travel. Letters of certification are only needed if traveling to the UK via any Amber List country. Travelers to the UK coming directly from the Cayman Islands do not require a letter of certification.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Director of Customs and Border Control, Mr. Charles Clifford. Senior Deputy Director Mr. Bruce Smith and Deputy Director Mr. Kevin Walton. At the moment, Mr. Walton Mr. Walton is heading back in. But we do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you guys there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. The director of customs. I just love how you do your job, sir. Like how you were saying to our caller there that you won't get the information to investigate the matter, right? Not trying to rub this thing in, but that's what happens to a lot of people, right? They want to resolve problems and then they complain about it or make a report about it, but when someone like you want to take it up for action and get it resolved, then, they say, no, because she got the package now. But if she never had the package, maybe she would have said, yeah, take this information or whatever, but it would still been good if she had given you the information that you had looked into it, that maybe this situation would not occur again. You understand? Or at least if you didn't investigate it, you would have this information on file. So if she have this problem again, you already have this report. And people fail to realize that, because if people continuously get away with what they do, then they continue to do it. The matter is saying, I know a caller had called one time regarding about people on work permits and stuff that are importing or bringing in vehicles and stuff like that. It's not only vehicles these people will be bringing in. They're bringing in all types of things. You got them as hairdressing people, like doing hairdressing and all kinds of different work permit. They bring in hair and bringing in sunglasses and bringing in clothes and bringing in all kind of different stuff. I mean, and not only hairdressers, but people from all different areas that supposed to be here just only on work permit. It's just like people here too also there's a work permit. They're selling things illegally that they shouldn't be doing, you know what I mean? But for that to be stopped, I mean, people has to report it and then file or whatever. And in a sense, you're reporting something to the agency or the right authorities, and then you do not have information on that person, the name or area or house or apartment or wherever they're living in, because it doesn't really make sense, you know what I mean? But like if you got those type of information, it's best to report it because the behavior is going to continue. I don't think it's fair for Caymanian or grassroots, because not too much of us, that they need to go through the big red tape or whatever it is to get a business or a business license to do these things, and these people can come in here and just make money and get all and talk about how sweet it is and how easy it is to make money.
Okay, Carla, so your point is that people need to cooperate more with, customs, whenever they know something?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is what I'm trying to detail.
Excellent.
You know what I mean? It's not like the system is not going to work if people are not cooperating and reporting what is supposed to be reported.
Okay, we'll have the director respond to that as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Very quickly, caller.
Yeah. I needed to get the director's number, please, if it's possible.
525-5693.
5693?
Yeah, 525-5693.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Answer to the director or in his panel. I just am querying. I know you're in charge of border control. Does this include the ports and waters around this island as well?
Caller, thanks for that question. The answer to that is no. The unprotected border is the responsibility of the Cayman Islands Coast Guard, and the Cayman Islands Coast Guard falls under the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. But what I will say is that both of those agencies are very important partners for CBC, and we work closely with them.
Okay. Well, this question wouldn't entirely be paid. You make can answer it, or you made the ball there, the radar station that used to be up there. Of course, I know it was a foreign entity that was operating it. Is it the property of the government, or still the entity that owns that square up by the shooting range?
I'm not sure about the answer to that, caller. I think it was constructed by the U.S. government, I think back in the late 80s, I believe. But I'm not sure who actually owns that property at this point.
Okay. Sometime in life, we need to, build on the foundation of what we got, because here you all are working tirelessly. And, Kevin, hats off on, and that's right, but on engaging the purpose, because at the end of the day, if you not go protect the waters, majority of the guns and anything illegal comes in through the water. Majority of stuff, nobody not coming through no front door when they come into rob you or do anything illegal. They're very rare. They see it happen. It happens, but it's very rare. And when that happens, that's an inside thing where they're working with some agent that working there, and they'll deal with them that way.
Okay.
Other question that I want to ask you, why can't you all approach or sit down? I mean, if it's Border Patrol, I understand that you all, multi-tactics and you all do joint ventures, but why can't you all just get together and put a pitch to the government and try to get a radar station up and running?
Okay, good point. Good point.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the caller for that suggestion. I am aware that there is some movement in that area. I can't go beyond that because I don't make those kinds of decisions, but we certainly make recommendations, yes.
Certainly. One more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Just a quick question. Like if when I order a package, I end up paying more to clear it than I actually paid for the package. Is that right?
It depends on the value of your goods, the cost of your freight to be shipped, and the tariffs that are applied to it. I am not sure exactly what the value of your goods were or your freight, but normally it should not be more, but be very careful. People decide to order goods, say for example from Amazon. They pay $15-20 for the goods, not realizing that freight by those couriers, for example, can be up to the excess of $70 US.
Right, yeah.
So when you import goods through a courier, which is a fast service, expect that you're going to pay for that service. And if you're going to bring goods, bring enough that at least it covers the freight. Persons are just importing just one item.
One item, yes, yeah. Okay, that's a very valid point as well.
Okay, because that normally happens. Like if I pay like $5 per item, when it ends up reaching, I pay like double the price.
That's why you have to, caller, at times consider whether or not it makes sense to buy locally as opposed to purchasing overseas. You have to really scrutinize each purchase that you're going to make to see whether or not it is financially viable for you to do it.
Those
overseas.
couriers have minimum charges that they charge for freight, and in most cases it don't be anything less than $60.
Okay, certainly. The data protection one, we haven't the ID requirement, Mr. Walton.
Yes. Mr. Walton, you want to address that?
Yes, in our system we have a registration process that you go and you log in, and it asks you whether or not you're an individual, business, or company. If you're an individual, it asks you for a government-issued ID. In that case, a driver's license or a passport. We do not require a driver's license and a passport and a birth certificate. It's either or either. Yeah. The birth certificate is inside there. I think it's still there. We're gonna remove it because it don't come with a photo ID.
Yes.
So what we require is a photo ID of either a driver's license or a passport. We don't ask for any more than that.
So you will be updating your system to remove that.
Well, the birth certificate is still there, but I don't know of anyone really using it, to be honest with you. So what I'm saying is our policy surrounding it is either a driver's license or a passport.
But someone looking at the system, and if they see birth certificate there, they have no way of knowing that.
Yeah,
that is one of the requirements.
But the system says either or either.
Either or either.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you got to put all of those in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this one seems to be more of a moral issue. It says, why is liquor a privileged import when traveling? I pay duty on my imports over the allowance, but my friend's extra purchase is liquor, and she gets it in duty-free.
You're allowed 1 liter.
Yeah. There's only a certain amount that you're allowed duty-free. Otherwise, you pay duty on it
as well.
Yeah. Again, that's a matter of law, so we don't make the laws. We just enforce them.
Exactly.
But thank the person who sent in that message as well.
Certainly. Okay, we have another caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning. OT to you and your panel.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
The question comes over the persons here on work permit that are importing cars and selling them. And we are very quick to blame customs, and we're very quick to blame government. regarding this. But, you know, the sad thing about it is that I know of instances where our own Caymanians has been the forefront for those foreigners bringing in the cars to sell, right? Because one thing about us as Caymanians, we love to complain and we love to point fingers at departments and entities. And I know for one, I heard Mr. Walton going somewhat in depth about the registration process. I, for one, had reason to import something through FedEx just a couple of weeks ago, and the lady from FedEx called me and said, you need to give us authorization to be your agent. I'm going to send the form to you. I sent the form to her, and to much of my amusement, in a matter of about an hour and a half after I sent the form to her, she had forwarded to Customs or CDC. I'm so used to saying Customs, CDC, and CDC had emailed me confirming that they had approved FedEx to be my agent. So it goes to show that you just can't willy-nilly bring in stuff without being identified. But how does CDC, and I'm speaking to my Caymanians, those that are just out there trying to make a dollar, not looking at the impact that they're making on the situation in this country regarding vehicles. But how does CDC say to Gillard, well, you cannot import 2 vehicles? How does CDC say that to me? They have no authorization to do that. So they don't question that, and so we're going to blame CDC for allowing the foreigners to import. A lot of times it is our greedy Caymanians that are involved in this. That's my contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, caller.
One of our listeners says, you have a lot of calls, so I won't try ringing in, but could you please pass on my personal kudos? The system works great, and the staff are efficient and helpful if needed. Keep it up.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank that person for that message.
Yeah. Okay.
And we want to recognize our staff.
And we'll give an opportunity to do that. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to give you gentlemen, if we don't have any more calls, an opportunity, each of you, for some closing comments as well. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
Spend quality time with your child to show you care about their health, wellness, and success. Celebrate their achievements, forgive their mistakes, listen to them when they have a problem, and show interest in how they plan to solve it. Young people are more likely to listen when their parents are engaged. They know you're on their side. Talk with your child early about making health-conscious decisions for life. For tips, log on to www.ndc.ky. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
And then we can start with Kevin and go around. Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We've closed the phone lines off now, and we'll be going around the table shortly for each the two deputy director, senior deputy director, and the director. Sorry, going back to the old term now, and for the director to give some closing comments as well. But here's one observation. It may not relate to customs, but if we can answer it for the person, then maybe we can try. And the person wanted to know, can you explain to the general public why it costs more to import vehicles from America compared to Japan?
And that's the freight costs I would imagine they're speaking to. Yeah, and they're right. I mean, but that is to do with the logistics of shipping, etc. When those vehicles coming from Japan, they're coming on large freighters that are all consolidated into one. And I think that probably has to do with it. But when you bring it out of the U.S., there are individual shipments. So I think the freight costs and the cost to get them here is more. But that is something for the shipping agency.
But just to clarify, there's no difference in the rate of duty.
Rate of duty is the same. Yeah.
Okay, so going around the table, starting with you, Mr. Walton.
Yes, and I just want to say that we were speaking about persons importing goods without a business license. We work closely with the Department of Commerce and Investments as well, and we share information and intelligence with them, and we have had joint investigations as it relates to persons who are suspected of importing goods for sale without a business license, and that will continue. And as we continue to build out our technology, that information will be shared more often. However, this morning I just want to say that all what we have done and we continue to do to improve our services, provide a good customer experience, becoming a world-class civil service, we can't do it without our employees. Our employees are the heart of what we do on a daily basis. For example, I have a team that works around the clock in some cases, work up this weekend, ensuring that our appointment of agents were up and approved. And for those that were not compliant, to respond to those. And we have a very dedicated team in the import side of Customs and Border Control. They work up to 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, ensuring imports are cleared. And it's not fair, some of the comments that I see out there on social media, putting the officers down and our employees down, because they're very dedicated, committed to the organization, ensuring that this economy continues. And I say it to people, during lockdown, did you have a shortage of food? No. Did you have a shortage of fuel? No. Did you have a shortage of medicines? No. You know why? Because CBC continued to work. And we were working during the lockdown remotely in the offices as well, making sure that essential services were provided during the lockdown. And we continue to do so. If CBC slows down imports, the economy slows down. And that is something that we do not want to happen. And that is why we continue to become more efficient as we go along. And I would just want to remind the public that we will continue to build out our technology programs, and we're going to continue our consultation with our stakeholders and traders. But in this case, as far as the appointment of agents are concerned, we could not go to everyone in the public to get. We dealt with the agents, and informed them as to what was happening. Yes, the communication may have dropped off along the way, but we continue to work with them. And I know this morning, some agents have to be trained up to understand if a person is already registered, there's no need for you to go and register again. Yeah. If you isn't registered, then you take your time, go into CBC, online, cbc.gov.ky, select calls, select registration, and within a minute or so, you're registered as an individual. If it's a business, you have to provide your business license. If you're a company, you have to provide some company information. It don't take all day to do. It's very simple. And then you select your agents and appoint them accordingly. And we move forward.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Connor. Certainly, we just touched on a small area of CBC, Customs and Border Control, and we thank you very much for hosting us this morning. Just talking about what we do, our aim is to ensure that we become better at producing our goods and services and our products, whilst at the same time making it reasonable and easy for the public to comply with what we're doing. Because we do that all the time, as opposed to trying to exclude the public, we include the public. On the topic of the illegal drug trade and that aspect of it, I will ask the public to please, if you know something, please say something. Our intelligence apparatus is as good as the information that we receive. We can't operate in a bubble, or as I say, on an island, in an island setting. We have to include the public, and that's what we want to do in every facet of our business, is to include the public, and also to ensure that our staff are recognized, as Mr. Walton had said. So I thank you very much, and thank the public for listening to us.
Okay, thank you very much also. And Mr. Clifford, if you could include in your closing comments the emphasis again about the online payment, because people seem to be excited about that, and everyone is inquiring as to when is it coming.
Okay, well, let me address that first then. We had been saying for some time now that we've adopted this phased approach with respect to our technology upgrades, and the online payments will be coming towards the end of the year. We have some work that we're doing along with our ministry to make sure that the accounts are set up properly, so that when payments come into the account, we can properly reconcile them. We don't want to have a situation where we're sitting on revenue and can't assign it to particular clients. So these are things that the average customer might not think about, but we have to think about it carefully from our point of view in order to manage that process. But we're getting closer and closer to that, and by the end of the year, we should have it in place. I want to start off, Osi, by thanking you for having us on the program, for inviting us. I want to thank all of the callers that called in, those who sent messages, both those that were critical and those that were supportive, because when we get criticism, we learn from that as well. So that's important. Some criticism is justified and some isn't, but that's just how life is. And we've all been around this business long enough to understand that. But thank you again very much for having us. I want to thank my senior management team. I have 8 other members on the senior management team, and I only have 2 members here with me this morning. But hopefully we can do this more frequently than we've been doing it in the past several months. And then other members of the senior management team can join me. They all work very hard. All of our staff do, and I want to thank them. Mr. Kevin made reference to the fact that they're often subject to criticism, although that is getting less and less each time. And they really don't deserve that, because they work extremely hard. They work long hours. And the primary mission of CBC is an important one. Border control is very important to the country, both from a safety point of view as well as from a revenue point of view. You would have heard earlier that we contribute somewhere in the region of about 30%, and that's a fluctuating number to government's revenue. So all very important functions, but it's a large organization. We have a lot of customer service touch points, and because of that, you're going to get a mixed bag of reaction from your customers. But we are aiming to be a world-class Customs and Border Control service because that is the mission of the entire civil service. And we continue to upgrade our systems and our strategies and our programs in order to achieve that end. There's a lot of work to be done. The work continues, and we continue to make our improvements. But I just want to certainly underscore the importance of the hard-working staff that we have. This is not just my effort. This is an effort of the entire team, the senior management team, and every member of the organization, including the administrative officers that support us on a daily basis, and I want to sincerely thank them for that. I think what we should do, OC, is to try to figure out a way that we can have regular appearances on this program,
Certainly,
maybe on a
certainly.
quarterly basis or a monthly basis. And that way, each time we come on, we won't have to take up your entire show on
Don't
a
mind it
particular
at all.
But it's been a pleasure being here this morning.
Okay, and one of our listeners actually wrote in and said that they do know that persons can get the show once aired on YouTube, Radio Cayman 89.9, but they wish that we could air this again, at least do a repeat or a follow-up. And I would say that I believe that it is quite possible for you to take the YouTube clip if you wanted to and put it on your website as well, for people to access
Sure.
it, so that is something that you may want to consider as well. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you all for making yourselves available this morning. I thought it was extremely important that people know about this new rollout that is taking place, but also to be updated on what Customs and Border Control is doing. The whole pandemic situation is unpredictable. We know what we're doing here in the Cayman Islands to keep ourselves safe, but we also know that a lot of what we do here will be contingent upon these successes that take place elsewhere as well. And I thought it was extremely important, for the public to be kept up to date on that. So, folks, I want to thank you as well for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh. Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week.
The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
You are listening to Radio Cayman,